What question do you have that nobody has been able to give you a good answer to? If a Tesla's autopilot makes sure you're not too close to something, would it help you avoid a cop car that's trying to pit you? Asked this in our Tesla and got shamed for not owning a Tesla, but it was never answered. Just say you were in a police chase and your Tesla avoided all attempts at the police stopping you. People love to disprove others online. Why does plastic turn white when you bend it? What is actually happening at the molecular level up until the break? Do different polymers and their associated dyes still turn white? It really depends on the type of plastic. Take a garbage bag. You've got these long polymeric chains that are all mixed around like a bowl of spaghetti. When you pull on that plastic and stretch it, you break the weak van der Waals bonds between the chains and align the chains. This surely changes the way light refracts, though I didn't study light refraction much because mechanical properties are more important. When the bag is stretched to its limit, it gets harder to pull apart. This is because the chains are aligned and you're not pulling on wimpy van der Waals bonds anymore. Now you're pulling on strong covalent bonds. And when you overcome the force to break those, the chains and thus the bag break. So the lightening of the plastic from flexing likely comes from the polymeric chains being more aligned and changing light refraction. Source: Am materials science engineer, but it's been years since I was in school learning this. Growing up in a Southern, evangelical church, the official rule was absolutely no drinking. I asked, why? Jesus drank wine regularly in the Bible. I was told, well, so many people have trouble with alcohol. Even if you can drink in moderation without sinning, someone who can't may be encouraged to drink by seeing you drink. Sort of made sense on its face until I thought for 3 seconds. There were a lot of large people in our church. So I asked, gluttony is a sin though, right? Them. Yes. Me. So why do we serve donuts before church if it might tempt someone struggling with gluttony? Never got an answer other than vague comments about it being different for reasons. Edit. For everyone who has offered to talk with me about Christianity and drinking, I really do appreciate it. It is a nice gesture to want to discuss how I can be a Christian with or without alcohol. In my experiences, the people who had my upbringing either go all in or leave Christianity entirely. I made my choice on that one a while back. I have too much baggage with religion from my childhood to have any sort of mental health with it in my life. Your kindness is duly noted though. I always felt like these churches forget that you are personally accountable for your sins, as only God can judge you. It is not up to the church to make rules and control others. Just my opinion. What do DJs actually do? When you watch a video of them playing their turntables, they do all sorts of stuff, turning knobs, pressing buttons, moving sliders up and down, etc. It all looks very showy, but as far as I can tell, none of it has any discernible effect on the music. Like they'll grab some random knob and turn it and start dancing like that was some really sick shit, but absolutely nothing happened to the beat, timbre, pitch, melody, etc. Sometimes they're setting up and cueing the next track to drop in the opportune moment. That's done on their headphones, so you won't hear it till they want you to hear it. What were electric eels called before electricity was invented? Edit. For all the people, in Patrick's voice, saying, electricity wasn't invented, it was discovered. Let'll Lee. Y'all are annoying, sorry I'm not Bill Nye the Science Guy. Zappy worms. Why are swear, cuss, bad words bad? How did it become that way and who made them bad? In the Netherlands, many cuss words are wishing horrible diseases to people, and that's bad. Why are dreams so weird? I used to have one as a child. What are those weird looking things you could see when you were kinda looking directly at sunlight? They look like transparent centipedes and circle bugs with definite boundary, but transparent as a glass. I thought I had special powers and could see all the microorganisms like bacteria and virus and whatnot. And later I came to know that they are just impurities inside your eye, and you could see them when exposed at an angle to the light. Now that we are in a pandemic, I wish I could see viruses. They are called floaters or muscae volitantes. They're not foreign materials, but bits of your own body that break loose, such as tiny portions of tissue, red blood cells, or protein, and end up in the gel-like vitreous humor that fills the space between the lens and the retina. Why does my stainless steel razor get blunted by some hair stubble on my throat with only 1 minute of use? A good cutting edge is thin, very very thin, and commensurately weak and prone to bending. In the same way that your weak organic flesh can bend a metal spoon that is objectively harder than you are, because the metal is thin, the nanometer thin cutting edge of a razor can be bent by hairs. Once burrs and nicks have built up on a blade edge, it becomes much less efficient at cutting, as the lead edge that paired objects apart is now, say, 3 to 10x wider than before, and takes that much more effort to make the cut. This won't literally happen in a minute of use, but it will happen over time. A secondary effect for a razor is you can get gunk stuck on the blade, but rinsing it off should restore function. How to get a good haircut. People always just say, oh, bring in a picture of what you want. But I don't fucking know what's going to be good. And when I have chosen something from the first Google image page of hairstyles for men, it never comes out looking even close to the picture. Go to a barber, not a hairstylist, not some chain hairstyle place. An actual barber. Tell them what you want. Allow them to make adjustments. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm trying to find a good hairstyle for me. Can you hook me up with something that looks good on me? Where was Gondor when the Westfold fell? Gondor was defending the passes of Anduin the Great at Caer Andros and Osgiliath and was in no position to offer military aid to the west of Rohan. This applies to both the movies and the books. What should I do with my life? Something that meets these requirements of, pays enough to support your chosen lifestyle, B, has a schedule that allows you free time to enjoy said lifestyle, C, doesn't make you hate yourself in the morning. You don't need to love or be passionate about your job. What is enjoyable about cheating in online games? I knew a guy that used wall hacks and aimbot on Counter-Strike, way back when it was still a Half-Life mod. He wasn't trying to win games, he just found it funny. It was trolling. He'd see how long it took for people to notice, and then argue with them when they called him out. What happens if you donate your hair to someone and they commit a crime, leaving your hair at the crime scene? When hair is used in DNA testing, they aren't actually using the hair, but the small follicle of skin at the root of the hair. When donating hair, they cut the hair off, not extracting the root of the hair. No root, no DNA to collect. Why are my hands constantly cold? Edit. Half of these comments say that I have bad posture and or have another problem, and the other half say that I have a physis so I should be worried. I have a family member who always has cold hands and feet, they have Raynaud's syndrome. It's a, usually, not serious condition that means the blood doesn't flow properly to their extremities, resulting in coldness. Do people who are 100% physically healthy exist? Edit. For the smartasses out there, people lacking any identifiable disease, defect or disorder that has or may have a negative effect on their well-being. The definition of what healthy is subject to debate. It can also be different depending on your environment. Eventually no, because everyone is going to deteriorate with age and no longer be healthy. How do you know that the color orange you see is the same color orange I see? What if everyone sees different colors and the learned names are the only thing that is the same? Does this mean that color is just a pigment of your imagination? Why is this NSFW? What if one of the questions was, how to clean your ass before anal? What existed before the Big Bang? What was there? Did anything else exist before our universe? The big foreplay? What does the US national debt really mean? Who do we owe? What is the impact of the debt? What risks does it impose? How does it feel having threesome? Nobody in my circle have experience. You have to figure out ground rules. Mine was more exhausting than fun. The two girls did not interact at all, I just had to have sex twice quickly while someone watched. If gravity bends light, how do we know anything in the far reaches of the universe is actually located where we think it is? I'd assume it's because we can calculate the bending of the light. I don't actually know though, so don't quote me on it. Why clean dishes, glasses acquire an abhorrent smell sometimes, especially in summer if a window is open. Weirder still, not everyone seems to be able to smell it. Probably means your sponge is dirty. Especially if you leave it to stagnate in the sink where it can collect all types of yummy bacteria. So I had a pimple on my nose a few years ago and popped it. It's left behind a bump. Like an air bump which won't go. So far no one's been able to give me an answer on how to get rid of it. Go see a dermatologist please. Why the hell does my code not work? You're missing a semicolon in line 1378. Edit. Line not like. Why did Adele set fire to the rain? Moreover, asterisk how? Asterisk. How did Adele set fire to the rain? SpongeBob was able to have a campfire underwater. It's best not to think too hardly about it. If I slapped a chicken enough to cook it, would I also cook my hand? Yes. How fish have sex? I've never seen an adult book where it shows how they have sex. Edit. Think these type of questions had to make this post NSFW. They don't. Lady fish drops eggs. Dude fish just kinda squirts his load all over the eggs, then bam. Baby fish. How do I fall asleep easily? It takes me an hour to fall asleep. This works in minutes for me. Play some chill music on your phone at low volume and put it about a foot away. I like stuff like Football Head by Flamingosis and similar stuff. I think the genre is called Lofi. Imagine you can fly just by opening your arms. Imagine taking a tour of your neighborhood or city from the air or flying over your friends' houses and over places you know of. Imagine as much detail as you can. I fall asleep in like 5 minutes tops. What justification is there for drivers to monopolize the passing lane on highways, traveling under the speed limit and not seeming to care how it restricts traffic flow and annoys others? Most people really are oblivious to their surroundings. Just look at people with their shopping cart at the grocery blocking the whole aisle. Why is the Gryffindor house symbol a lion and not a griffin? Everyone tells me a lion is brave, but a griffin is literally part lion, and we know they exist in the Harry Potter universe. Lots of people also point to Hufflepuff being a badger, but Potter nerds seem to say Hufflepuffs are an exception to almost everything else. Someone give me one good, definitive reason it's not a griffin that I have no rebuttal towards. Maybe Godric Gryffindor just really loved lions and hated griffins because he got bullied for his name as a kid. If your name is Christopher White, you're neither obligated to be a Christian nor have to pretend white is your favorite color. What would a gender-fluid parent be called? I think the answer is apparent. What does it mean to say gender is a social construct? Everyone agrees a person's gender identity isn't just what social stereotypes and norms they fit. But then what aspect of gender is socially constructed? The stereotypes are all bunk, so if it isn't those, then what part is it? If I took a trans person and dumped them in a parallel universe where all the gender norms and stereotypes were flipped, would they still be trans in that universe? Would they still experience dysphoria? I would imagine they still would, because dysphoria is usually described as feeling like the blueprints for your body that your brain is working from don't match up. Or something like that. That seems nothing to do with anything socially constructed to me. A better way of putting it would be to say gender roles are a social construct. What do British people throw at strippers? All of their singles or coins. They throw tea bags. How did science agree Big Bang is the start of the time? Is poopy spelled like that or poopy? I think it's both. You can say, he has a poopy diaper, or, did you make a poopy? What is the opposite of Florida man? Okay, so let's work this out. We associate the Florida man with bizarre, criminal acts. Florida is a rich hub of Western society. So I propose a potential antithesis of this could be Myanmar girl. Despite their recent troubles, Myanmar is a country that was once voted as having some of the most caring, altruistic people in the world. It is neither in the West nor is it a hub of anything. And young girl is sort of the opposite of grown man. Asterisk Myanmar girl protects parents from wild boar attack. Donates pig carcasses to village feast. Asterisk etc. How many generations does it take to disregard incest? We are all related distantly, so how many? Like 5? 8? Who let the dogs out? Joe. Why is my speaker is making this annoying whining sound? Stop the Billie Eilish song that's playing on it. What is the gay, trans agenda? I've certainly not been clued in on it, yet I hear about it all the time. Create a world where people don't face discrimination or hate for their gender or sexuality, then eat cake and paint rainbows everywhere. What should I know before purchasing my first car? Apart stupid stuff says, look at if seats are clean, the engine will be clean too, or, anyway you'll end up making mistakes. No one around me has been able to give me proper advice. Edit. Asterisk corrected typo asterisk. Thank you for the replies everyone. Most hurtful reply when I asked for advice was, get yourself a dad. I needed Reddit, in fact less than 3. Don't let a salesperson sell you a car for a price you aren't comfortable with. Demand to see the paperwork detailing the pricing per week, per month, and the total amount of the vehicle. If the pricing isn't right, or not the right car, leave. Edit. Fixed a word. In the United States, if instead of going through the effort of figuring out my taxes, I just send the IRS $10,000. Won't they do the math and return the proper amount to me? Lol. No. They would just send the $10K back, or worse hold onto it pending an investigation, and likely investigate how you got the $10K, leading to more paperwork. In COD Warzone, why doesn't it show the teammates you just played with at the top of your recent players list after a game? I gotta go searching for that cool person I wanna play with again. Bad programming, just like the rest of the game. The UI has never been user-friendly. How does gravity work? The annoying thing is that there's 2 possible explanations, one that posits that gravity is a thing like magnetism but that every atom has, and one that posits that gravity isn't a force but a feature of atoms that distorts space around them. And the fact that these are so different yet neither has been proven wrong should tell you how much we know about gravity. Fair warning. If you struggle with self-esteem, don't read Why Do People Have Inherent Worth? Like all the time. I get that all life has potential and that everyone has something they can be. Where they can contribute, whether that be by making money, maintaining social and governmental structures, reforming those structures, or even just making people smile, etc. But why does that persist? Why is the narrative in the mental health community that that is always the case, even if you have proven that you either can't, or don't contribute? Whenever I hear it, it just sounds like jargon that makes you feel good, like someone saying you're special, but they have nothing to base it on, they're literally just saying it, so how can it feel meant? IDK. People say this to others and myself and I just don't get it. If it works for you, great, I am genuinely happy for you, and you may want to not discuss cause I have a habit of being debatey. And I am not trying to attack or invalidate what other people see as truth, used to get through life. I just really don't get it. Edit. Inherent, not internet. If you ask.me, nothing matters and everything is unimportant in the grand scale of the universe. So just try and enjoy your life along with the rest if us unimportant useless matter. If I suddenly wake up the opposite gender, would I like guys since I'm straight or be lesbian since I like women? That's basically asking how much of your sexual preference is genetic and how much is from nurture. The answer is, we just don't know. Who is your daddy, and what does he do? My dad is a gynecologist. He looks at ladies' vaginers all day. Why do people need to solve mathematical equations to mine Bitcoin? The mathematical problems are all part of a concept called proof of work. The mathematical problems are hard to solve but easy to verify. They're used to prevent fraudulent Bitcoin transactions from being added to the blockchain ledger. If, for example, you wanted to fraudulently add some transactions to the network, you'd need to expend computing power to solve the proof of work, but it can be easily checked by another node on the network. If it's found to be fraudulent, the transaction block is rejected. Why does the US president have the authority to pardon people? I've tried to Google it and couldn't find a real answer. Why is this person able to put someone else above the law, and how did this rule come to be?
Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.